Be'ezrat Hashem. Now we're starting Sefer Minchat Hachinuch, Parashat Lech Lecha, which is the second mitzvah of the Torah. The first mitzvah of the Torah is Piriya Verivia. Second mitzvah of the Torah, mitzvah Brit Milah. Okay? Says the Sefer Hachinuch says the following: Lech Lecha yeshva mitzvah achat, mitzvah aseh achat. There's one mitzvah aseh, vehi mitzvah Milah, the mitzvah Brit Milah. Shene'emar, zot beriti asher tishmeru beni ubenechem. ובין זרעך אחריך, כן? הימו לכם כל זכר. That's what the Torah says, that's the brit, that's the covenant that you will keep between me and you and in your descendants to always do the brit milah of the male. ונכפלה בסדר אישה כתבה זריעה. And the same mitzvah is repeated in Sefer Vayikra. He says, on the 8th day, yeah, you have to cut the orla. So says the Mitzvah Chilur, don't worry, many mitzvot are duplicated across the Torah. And there's always a reason why the Torah would repeat a certain mitzvah. Like you would find in the Mefarshim in the Gemara. ועניין מצווה זוהי, what is that mitzvah? שחותכים העורלה, we cut the עורלה, the extra flesh of the ברית. המחפה ראש הגבייה, that covers the top of the עבר. ופורעים קרום רך שלמטה ממנה. And we also rip a little bit of the skin that sits right below the crown. That's פריאה. כי ידוע למבינים, it is known to the ones that understand secrets of life, שתשלום צורת האדם, when is a man complete, בהסיר ממנו אותה עורלה, is when you take out that piece of flesh, שהיא תוספת בו, because that piece of flesh was never meant to be there. It was brought after the chet of Adam HaRishon, and it was added on. Right, so it's an addition, it's an add-on from what Adam was created originally, or the way man should look like, yes, or before the sin. That's the inyan of that mitzvah. The root of that mitzvah, what is the psychology behind it? Hashem wanted to install, yes, amongst the people that he separated, that he elevated from the rest of the nation. Right? They are called a people with his name. We call it Israel, Am Israel. In the name Israel, we have the name of Hashem, Kel, right? Israel. So we carry his name. Al od kavua begufan. So his people must have a sign that they carry on their body that basically shows clearly that they are his people. Lehavdila mish'ar amim, and that's how they will be separated from the rest of the nation. B'tzurat gufam, in the way they look physically. Kimo shehem uvdalim mehem b'tzurat nafshotam. And that's a point of reference to them, meaning to Am Israel, to remember how different they are also in their soul. So when they look at the Ever, right? When they look at the Brit Milah, they say, well, I'm different. We know, at the time of pogroms, how they would identify if you're Jewish or not. They would tell you, show me your Brit Milah. Yes.
But now everyone is the same.
Now it's different, but that's...
Les fils de Ishmaël, c'est pareil aussi.
Non, mais c'est pas un très bon point, mais c'est pas une Brit Milah qui est shlema. Ils ont pas la priya. Ils ont pas. They don't rip the skin under, and therefore, there's a nuance. There's a nuance in the Brit Milah that maybe it's harder today to see because the priya is done the minimum way possible. Yes, but there was comme une cicatrice. Yes,
Mhm.
that would form from the ripping of the skin that could be seen next to the crown. Yes, and that's a sign of the priya. But in any case, what is the idea and the reason behind the idea behind the Brit Milah? So that they can be differentiated from the Goyim. But for us, for Am Yisrael also, to say, hey, 1 second, look how I am, how different I am from the rest of the Goyim. Yes, I did Brit Milah, right? And that's a point of reference that to remind myself that I'm different also by the Neshama. I have a different Neshama.
Mhm.
Asher motza'am umuva'am enenu shaveh. We did not come, and we're not leaving this world for the same reasons. We don't come to this world for the same reason as the Goyim, and we don't leave this world for the same reasons as the Goyim. All this is the message that we need to remind ourselves, right, with the Brit Milah. ונקבע ההבדל בגולת הזהב. And that differentiation was put on the golden crown of man. לפי שהוא סיבה לקיום המין. Why? Because this is what secures, yes, the continuation of the species of humanity. Yes, it's the Brit Milah. So with the organ that is the most essential to to securing the human race, on that specific organ, the Hakadosh Baruch Hu came and said, you will be different." He says, and that's besides the fact that it's also coming to complete the body. Because if we said that the Orla was an add-on, right? So nobody wants add-ons. Those add-ons they're extras. You won't want to carry
Mhm.
anything extra, so you want to cut it because it's extra anyways. That's why they're going cut it because it's extra. Yes, it's not.
Mhm.
Today, everybody understands that it's unhealthy, it carries diseases, right? There's a lot of problems with that. Why does all the going do it? They do it because
Mhm.
it's for hygiene reasons, right?
Mhm.
Nachon? So everybody understands that it's an extra piece of flesh that's not needed on the body. And the opposite, it's a reason for trouble.
Mhm.
Besides that, besides that, yeah, the reason why Kadosh Baruch Hu chose us to do for us to do it is because it's done on the organ that secures the human race. So we carry a responsibility and we carry an obligation to pass on the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we carry, yes, to the next generation. For that reason, the Torah has so much kpeda about any mix with goyot and goyim, yes, and shfichat zera levatala and all this. Because of that, because the seal of Hakadosh Baruch Hu of the covenant between us and Hashem, right, is there. Because it's the most important ever to human race. On it, to an individual, maybe not, but to human race is the most important organ.
Mhm.
Okay. And the Torah shows, HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows that this is how you're going to differentiate yourself, and you're going to remember that you are different. והעם הנבחר and the chosen people, חפץ Hashem, the desire of Hashem, יתברך, להשלים תכונתו, right? To complete his תכונה, his essence. ורצה להיות ההשלמה על ידי האדם. Kadosh Baruch Hu said, you know what? I can do it myself and make man without it. נכון? You could have
Mhm.
decided that, okay, so there was a mess up along the way. From now on, finished, back to square one. No. HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided that it has to be done by the man himself. And therefore, lo bera'u shalem mi beten. That's why he's not complete yet in his creation. Lirmoz elav, as a message to the man, כי כאשר תשלום צורת גופו על ידו, by you being involved proactively to fix yourself, כן בידו להשלים צורת נפשו והכשר פעולותיו. So too, you have an obligation now to fulfill yourself and to change yourself on a spiritual level also, not only on the physical level. Right? So the same way that you went and took away what's not needed and a source of problem, or can be a source of problem, yes, practically you did it. But our parents do it. They do it because we cannot do it. But the moment you can do it, the obligation is on you to do it, right?
Mhm.
So the same thing, you have now an obligation to take away the orlat alev, all the negativity that is in the heart, all the contamination that is in the brain, that stops the person from growing and being by having the clarity, the intellectual clarity and the emotional clarity needed in order to be the best version of himself on this world.
Mhm.
Okay?
כן.
Some high level halachot of that mitzvah, דיני המצווה. על מי מוטלת מילת הקטנים, וכן מילת העבדים. כן? יליד בית ומקנת כסף, ובאיזה עניין דוחים, ואיזה עניין דוחים בשבילה שבת ויום טוב, right? On who this mitzvah is, who is responsible for the ktanim, for the avadim, right? For the if you own individuals at the time, right? Also, is this mitzvah, can you do it on Shabbat, on Yom Tov? Which person you have to do on 8 days and which one you have to postpone? He says all this you will find the answers in the 19th parak of Masechet Shabbat, Tav Kuf Lamed, and in the 4th parak of Yebamot, Tav Mem Zayin. And he says in Masechet Shabbat, we learn that what? Ki Amal Mevarech. Whoever does the Brit Milah makes the bracha. Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kideshanu V'Yivzav V'Tzivanu Ala Milah.
Mhm.
That's the person that actually makes the Brit Milah, the Mohel. ואבי הבן הוא הבית דין במקום של בן דין. Now the father or a beit din if there's no father. מברכים, they make a ברכה, אשר קידשנו מצווה וציוונו להכניסו בבריתו של אברהם אבינו. כן? והעומדים שם עונים, and the people that gathered to come to the ברית מילה, they have to answer, כשם שזכה לברית, the same way he was זוכה to do the ברית, כן יזכהו האל לתורה לחופה ולמעשים טובים. Hashem should grant him also to be able to learn Torah and to the chuppah and do good deeds. כן?
Mhm.
ונוהגת בכל מקום ובכל זמן. That mitzvah is a mitzvah that has to be done at all time, meaning there's no specific time where you shouldn't do בrit מילה. ובכל מקום,
Shabbat
in all
also?
places, it depends. The Shabbat could be doche, but throughout history, you still have to do it no matter what. כן?
During Shabbat?
בטח, if on the 8th day, ודאי you do on Shabbat. Unless there's a problem and you have to be doche, or if he was born בין
Mhm.
השמשות. But if he's
Mhm.
born Shabbat morning, you do Shabbat morning, yes, ודאי. ואין אנשים חייבות במילת ביניהם, that the mitzvah of the Brit Milah is on the person himself and on the father. The mother does not have an obligation to get her son circumcised.
So
אלא,
if the father died before the
so
son's
the Beit Din
born,
has the obligation. So the Beit Din has to do it.
but
Today,
today there's no
obviously,
bedding,
the mother doesn't have an obligation.
so the kid doesn't have to have it.
He has to have it, but he has to have it.
So,
There's always a bedin. There's always a bedin. Doesn't have to be a bedin of rabbanim. A bedin is three people. Yes. Now the mother can she will do it, but she doesn't have an obligation to do it.
mhm.
הנה, ואין אנשים חייבות במילת ביניהם, אלא האב או בית דין במקום שאין להם אב. When there's a father, if there's no father, the בית דין. Now, ועובר על מצוות זו, ולומר לעצמו, and whoever, yes, decide not to do the ברית מילה, משהגיע לכלל עונשים, from the time that he is now responsible for the mitzvot, שהוא י"ג שנה ויום אחד, 13 years old and 1 day. Yes, now he decides until 13 years old and 1 day, it's not his fault. He's still a katan.
Mhm.
From 13 years old and 1 day, he's now responsible. בכל יום שיעבור עליו, every day that passes, משיגדל ולא ימול עצמו, and he didn't do ברית מילה, מבטל מצוות עשה. Right? He's canceling his מצוות עשה. וימד הוא, והוא ערל במזיד, and if he dies without doing the ברית מילה, purposely, חייב כרת. He's being excommunicated. אבל אין לאב חיוב כרת
Khaled,
במילת
ça veut
בנו.
dire il peut pas être enterré dans le
That's right.
cimetière.
That's right. אבל אין לאב חיוב כרת במילת בנו. אלא שעובר על עשה. But the father that decides not to do the Brit Milah of his son, he is not karet. Even though the son dies without doing Brit Milah, he's not karet. He's over on the mitzvah aseh. Yes, il a transgressé, he transgressed a mitzvah. ואין בכל התורה מצוות עשה שחייבים בביטול הכרת, כי אם זו ושחיטת הפסח. There are only two mitzvot in the Torah, that if you don't do it, and the person dies not doing it, okay, specifically here in the mitzvah of Brit Milah, it's the Brit Milah. That's the only mitzvah that if you don't do it, yes, at the end if you don't do an aseh, a mitzvah aseh, that at the end there's karet. And shechitat Pesach, if you don't bring korban Pesach. These are the only
Today,
two.
since there's no Korban Pesach,
There's not.
everyone's Karet, or
מה
there's no
פתאום?
mitzvah?
מה פתאום? There's no mitzvah because there's no mitzvah because there's no בית המקדש. But if you can bring a korban Pesach and you shchitat Pesach and on purpose you don't bring it, yes,
Mhm.
then the person is
But during the
chayav.
Holocaust, a lot of families didn't do the Brit Milah.
But they're onsim, they're anusim.
That's
That's
so it's okay, no?
that's anus. Yes, that's anus. That these are people that they were in כתוב וחי בהם. You have to live with the Torah, not put yourself in danger to die with the Torah.
Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
That's the mitzvah of Parashat Lecha. That's all about the Chinuch on that parasha.
Hmm.
טוב, hold on.